Hey guys, me Kickassreaction here, and we are back to continue on with Demon Slayer. So yeah, pretty good stuff so far. That last set was pretty good, honestly. I had a lot of fun with it. But yeah, we're doing episodes 20 and 21 today. We're ending off the season with shorter sets. Well, next one is also a 2 set, and then the next one is a 3 set to end off the season. Then we'll go on to the movie. I forget what it's called right now. I believe it has Train in the name. And then we'll move on to Season 2 and beyond. But yeah, a lot of fun. Like I said, we've now defeated one of the 12 Kizuki, which is great. Our first official big-time kill, which is fun. We're just hoping that, you know, in all the emotion of that scene, Tanjiro still remembers to take a little blood, you know, to continue on with the progress of saving Nezuko. On the subject of Nezuko, though, she has unlocked her official, possibly first of more, but mostly probably just main, blood demon art. The Exploding Blood demon art. That's very cool. That is a very awesome, epic demon art that has very terrifying implications if it is fully nurtured and trained. You know. You know, just explode people from within, like, if we do stuff like that, that'd be pretty sick. Pretty gruesome, but also very cool for a shonen. And, yeah, that's pretty fun. We've still got a little cleanup, though, to do, because we still have one more demon of the spider family, alive. The sister of the main boy is still around doing her thing. And as we know, Inosuke's out, Zenitsu's out. Tanjiro doesn't have a blade anymore, you know, so he's out, as is Nezuko. So it pretty much just leaves Jiyu to deal with that demon. And then we're pretty, you know, then we get our recon. Very curious for Jiyu to actually see Nezuko and Tanjiro again for that reunion, which is going to be pretty cool. Obviously, he let Nezuko go before, and now we can, you know, Tanjiro can present that that was not a mistake on his part, that it was a, you know, it was worth letting Nezuko go, because they've made, you know, she's made progress as a person. You know, they are now actually at the point of gaining a, or at least working towards a cure for demons, so the Demon Slayer Corpse will no longer need to exist. And, you know, all that good stuff. So, I'm really looking forward to this, like I said. Potentially, we could meet the leader of the Demon Slayers in this, not in this set necessarily, but in this season and the rest of it. You know, get ourselves a promotion for not only beating one of the 12, but for beating them with a fucking stunted blade. That's a flex, even among probably the highest of rank of Demon Slayers, I gotta imagine. So, yeah, that's something to look forward to. Like I said, Zenitsu got his antidote, I believe, so he should be okay. Going forward from now. And obviously, Inosuke's fine, he's just hanging because, well, oof, pretty much. That's literally all it is, just oof for him. So yeah. I'm looking forward to this, obviously. I'm sure you guys are as well. Tanjiro's gonna need a new blade. Maybe Nezuko can get one as well. You know, I know her claws are fine enough, but she's not even much of really of a brawler. She's more just a, you know, a kickboxer, which is funny. But we'll see. Probably not, but hey, there's a lot of show to go. And hopefully, this sets the landmark for Nezuko actually becoming more involved with the plot and possibly, again, starting to actually regain some of her former self. Now, for the first time since she was a demon, she spoke. And it's very interesting because we haven't seen a single demon prior to this, I don't believe, that wasn't able of actually communicating. So, that's obviously something that is going to happen at some point, you know. And I'm really curious to see if and, you know, when, I should say, when it does happen. In this season would be preferable, but obviously there's a lot more to go. So we'll see. Anyway, guys, let's begin episode 20 of Demon Slayer. Repeating that ending strike. What a flex, man. Decapitation with a broken blade. A pretend family. that is one way to sum this up. So let's see what your backstory is. Nice. Is his scar getting bigger? Yeah, his scar is getting massive. Maybe it's just this sharp, but it looks way bigger now. It's like going right next to his eye. You've gotta be kidding me. Oh my good lord. It didn't work because the blade's broken? What? Oh, that's so clutch! That is so fucking clutch! That's actually epic. Damn. That was such a good moment and you ruined it! How could you? Lower 5, so he's a low ranking of the 12. Yeah, you think that. Yikes. And obviously our boy. The true master of the water breathing technique. No. Much stronger than that. Nice! There's an 11th form. Yeah, I didn't even know that existed. Sorry, bro. But it's over. God damn. And yeah, remember this girl? This is when he took her in?
鬼か子供だなしかし見た目が子供だろうと鬼には変わらんねえ助けてほしいえその代わり僕の頼みを聞いてくれる
Sure
何でもする言う通りにするから助けて
じゃあ僕の家族
That's kinda tragic Wow What idiots Completely effortless. Oh my god. Wow, so quite a few of them died before. How the hell did you recruit the big guy? What trouble was he in? Okay, this is very interesting. A technique kind of like what Muzan does, just kind of mutates further.
みんな弱い鬼だったからルイの力を分けてもらったの。ルイはあの方のお気に入りだからこういうことも特別に許されているのよ。
Because he's one of the 12. Interesting. So the 12 Kizuki gets to have like their own soldiers. Is that something they all can do? And Muzan's just like, yeah, why not? You're the generals. You have subordinates of your own to play with. Surely there's less grotesque ways of doing that. Jesus Christ, it's like he fused a mask on her. That's how it looks like. 'Cause he ripped half her skull off. wondering if that's what he did. He fused them with masks. But obviously they are expressive. And this guy, he's just another beast in general. Oh, this girl hasn't even transformed yet. This is really cool because it really shows the extent certain demons would go to just to avoid the demon slayers. It's possible some of these guys were passive as well and didn't even really care about hunting humans. So yeah, they seem far more... They all seem very human in comparison to what we've seen before. Cute. And you wanna... Wow. You idiot, you're connected by blood. Literally. Did you really think it'd be that easy? Oh, God! She literally sold her out. You fucking bastard. And obviously Ryu knew that, but it's like, well, you kind of redeemed yourself there, in a way. God, that's so bad, because they can't actually kill demons, but they can just leave them out to rot. Oh, not rot, to just fucking disintegrate. Oh, that's so sad. Nice, and you're dead. Well, that's terrifying. You don't want to mess with a pretty little butterfly, do ya? Yeah, I'll help you by putting you out of your misery. Dude, this is literally horror music right now. Like someone's about to die. This girl is terrifying. Yeah. She's not even saving him. Dude, she is literally leaving him to die as she's doing this. This is fucking terrifying. Oof. Wow. Then you'll be redeemed. What the fuck? You are more terrifying than any demon we've ever seen. Yeah, at that point, just kill me. Fuck that. Yeah, it's already done. I'm sorry. I really thought you might have had some potential, but I guess it just wasn't meant to be. And that's a shame, because I really like this whole cosmetic design of these demons. This spider theme is actually really cool. Oh my god, she didn't even go for the head. Insect breathing butterfly dance. She didn't go for the head. Oh. Looks like you got poisoned. Did she have like? Did she like infect her blade with like that flower that's poisonous to demons? Because butterflies do like their flowers. Mm-hmm.
私は柱の中で唯一鬼の首が切れない剣士ですが、鬼を殺せる毒を作ったちょっとすごい人なんです。
Dude, she is so sweet. It's so disturbing.
失礼しました。ガリです。
Well, that is the true GG, and that poor guy is very naked. Very naked.
なんとか。
ルイは何がしたいの？家族ってどういうの？
わからない。僕には人間の頃の記憶がないから。
だから私たちに家族の真似をさせたの？
家族の絆に触れたら記憶が戻ると思ったんだ。
That's a very
本物の
interesting idea. That's a true family bond. Damn, and we are done. Damn, that was cool. Episode almost entirely just, well, pretty much, yeah, entirely just on the demons and the backstory. Very interesting. So I'm guessing she just left Zenitsu alone? I mean, no, I said she's a master, so I mean, he's probably fine, you know? But yeah, so that was episode 20 of the Demon Slayer. Very nice, very nice. Like I said, I had a little hope in there for the girl, that we do something a little different with her, considering that she was still alive after the you know, our main boy Ryu died, and since it doesn't seem like, even though he infected her with his blood, it did not in any way transform her back to the sub-demon she was before, which may or may not confirm that if Muzan is killed, Nezuko and any demons that are still around will not be transformed back at that point, which is why this this cure we're working on is so important. But it also is kind of a shame because, yeah, Tanjiro is pretty much wrecked right now, and he can't get a sample of this of Ryu's blood. You know, this is like the most valuable blood we could probably get in a very long time in this show, and unfortunately, you know, we're not gonna acquire it because his main focus is Nezuko, and he literally cannot move right now. So it seems like that's a bit of a loss. I don't lie, it was very smart, very cool to see Ryu be you know, that quick of thinking to sever his own head before the death. It kind of undermined a little bit, you know, the ending of episode 19, because that was such a cool end right there. It really felt like that was a deserved kill for Nezuko and Tanjiro, you know, because it was their first ever really combined duo effort of slaying a demon slayer, you know, especially with like the severed blade and all that. That felt like that was a perfect end to this guy, but unfortunately, he was still alive. So, while I do appreciate the creativeness in severing his own head before it came down to it, I feel like it kind of sours a little of the actual moment, because it's like, well, you know, you watch back on episode 19 and it's like, well, it didn't actually kill him in the end, so it is a little bit disappointing, you know. But either way, Jiyu's here. He doesn't seem to be focusing too much on Tanjiro and Nezuko right now, but I'm assuming we will get that next episode, because while they are elites, they would still have a duty to actually help out their fellow demon slayers, you know. And, you know, Tanjiro's beat. He has no blade anymore, you know, so that's all down. Even Zenitsu helped out, you know, helped out the boy. No, the girl helped out Zenitsu is what I'm saying. Well, I got that completely reversed right there. But yeah, it is really cool. This girl is terrifying for sure. Her fixation, really, of being, like, helping out and kind of just making friends with demons. Like, what has she actually ever succeeded in that before? Are there actually demons kind of under her, like, her wing? She is so disturbing, but, like, I like it. I kind of dig it. I'm really curious to see what's actually going to happen with that. And my god, this girl cannot learn of Nezuko because Jesus Christ, that's a demon she cannot torture because she's not harmed any humans. So she is straight up just in the friend potential category, and that is terrifying. I'm kind of worried more than I ever have been before now for Nezuko. Zenitsu and Ryu be damned. Holy crap. But yeah, most likely that stuff is for the very next episode, which again, I am very much looking forward to seeing. It was interesting though, so we got a little more kind of lore with the 12 Kizuki. How it seems like Muzan lets them kind of have subdivisions of demons under their own command for their own purposes because they are his elite generals. So, in the same way that, in the same way that he transforms people with his blood, they don't necessarily transform people with their blood, but they kind of upgrade them, right? Because I'm not going mad, but our medical doctor demon, right? She did say she was a former 12th member of the Kizuki. I might be going wrong, but she said that, and she said that she specifically learned how to turn humans into demons. But what we see here is Ryu kind of upgrading people that are already demons with his own blood, and then kind of just injecting his own power and will into them. So it's a little different, but it is still interesting how that's how Muzan allows his elites to operate. So I'm assuming then that, when we meet some more 12 members, we'll also have subdivisions, of demons under them that serve, their purpose under their command. Now, obviously, this one is a very interesting case because Ryu specifically wanted to do this because he wanted to try and gain back some of his prior memories. It's interesting. So it kind of goes. It very adds a lot of insight to the demons that we've seen in this show so far, because obviously Nezuko is one thing, but we see here the kind of lengths certain demons go just to kind of survive, because obviously the prejudice is insane, and for fair and justified reasons. Demons obviously, 9 times out of 10 it seems, attack humans. They need to feed, they need to do all this stuff. Not many would have the will to starve off humans as Nezuko does. And even she was specifically hypnotized into this, right? So it's like, obviously, Ryu and a lot of the others don't really, we haven't seen a demon before really care about turning back into a human or wanting to know their past experiences. That's all come from, when they are about to die, their life flashes before their eyes and Muzan's curse is broken. But this is an interesting case because even though he was a demon and one of the most powerful demons in Muzan's, army, he still wanted his old memories back. And not even for the purpose of having a family, but because he thought that having the bonds of a family would jog those memories. Which is very interesting. They probably come from a primal desire to have a family, similar to what Nezuko has in her love for Tanjiro, but more out of desperation for his own desires. He wanted that, which is interesting. And what is also very interesting is how humanized these demons were in comparison to the others. Not so much all of them, obviously. You've got Spider Boy, you've got, Spider Beast Boy, but the other two, the girl that died and the previous one did seem to form a genuine bond, which was interesting, and they seemed a lot more human. Obviously, the only instance we saw of them was in their final moments of being hunted by demon slayers. We saw them at their weakest, but we didn't see what they were like when they had the advantage. So they were far more humanized than what we are used to for demons. But it does beg the question, and a very interesting moral dilemma that I'm curious if Tanjiro is going to develop as things go along, is he going to try to are we going to try to understand the demons that we face more than anything else, right? Because it does seem like outside of Nezuko, there are legit demons that, you know, while not retaining any human memories, do seem more human than others, right? Like they do seem to form bonds. You know, this case is a very interesting one because all these demons were very were forced into this. They were forced to be a family, and because of that, they were able to converse and be civil with each other out of their fear of Ryu. But it did seem like these two formed a genuine bond with one another, and obviously, unfortunately, one of them betrayed the other because they knew it would mean that they would survive. You know, they'd rather still live in this constant fear of Ryu than actually die, which is insane to think about. But are there more demons we could face out there that are like, you know, that are like our medical doctors and Nezuko? Do they want to just kind of live, you know? Because no human that we've seen asked to be demons. You know, these are just situational circumstances that happen. But, you know, we've not seen anyone that actively wanted to be a demon before, which I'm sure we will see in the future. But it does beg the question, you know, how human are these guys still, even though they're demons, and are they worth the investment of trying to necessarily save, you know? And again, it's a very morally interesting question right there, because, you know, it is good to have those kind of thoughts based on what we've seen, but B, it's very risky if you're wrong, because that gives the demons an advantage on you. If you try to open up with kindness, it gives them an advantage to, you know, kill you. So it is interesting, and it is interesting to ponder, and I am curious if we will actually legitimately see more demons as we go along that are like that. You know, we even got a bit more of the hierarchy, how there are kind of lower class demons, not even counting the Kizuki, but there are kind of lower class demons that, you know, are more susceptible to blood than others, and I'm really curious if we will see more of that as we go along. But yeah, so guys, I'm going to do my cut, and when I do come back, we'll do episode 21, the final episode in this set. Feels weird to already say that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a moment. So whose flashback have we got here? Ryu's. I didn't think we'd actually get it, honestly. I thought they'd just leave that ambiguous. It's crazy you still had that hairstyle, even as a human. I feel like you were kind of fated to be a demon at that point. Against corp rules? I think that said. I know sometimes you just straight up can't read it. I apologize.
走ったことがなかった。歩くのでさえも苦しかった。
Huh.
現れるまでは。
Yo, our boy looking quite a bit younger,
かわ
honestly.
いそうに私が救ってあげよう。
And bro, he just showed up, was like, yo,
両親は
wanna be
喜
demon?
ばなかった。人を食わねばならないから。
It is a very... That is a very interesting one, honestly.
なんてこと。
That kind of payoff.
なんてことをしたんだ。
Yeah, it's like...
昔素晴らしい話を聞い
But
た。
they still kept him for a little while. He still lived with them, which was
川で溺れた我が子を助けるために死んだ親がいたそうだ。
holy fuck.
俺の親は俺を殺そうとした。
And we know that wouldn't have even done anything
母は
anyway.
泣くばかりで殺されそうな俺をかばってもくれない。
Yeah. That is very interesting, though. The fact that the parents still tried to keep him, even though he was a demon at that point.
俺たちの絆は本物じゃなかった。
Jesus, and he just slaughtered the whole house.
何か言ってる。まだ生きてるのか。
丈夫な体に産んであげられなくてごめん。
その言葉を最後に母はこと切れた。
Damn.
死んだ。死のうとしてくれていたのだと。その瞬間唐突に理解した。
And then you became obsessed with family bonds.
それでも無惨様は俺を励ましてくださった。
全てはお前を受け入れなかった親が悪いのだ。己の強さを誇れ。
強くなればなるほど人間の頃の記憶も消えていく。
Oh.
自分が何をしたいのか。
So that's another catalyst, huh? The stronger you are, the less human you even remember. That's very cool to know.
どうやってももう手に入らない。抱えきれないほど大きな悲しみの匂いがする。
Yep, every demon you've ever fought at this point has had unimaginable suffering. Lower 5, we know. And as he always does, prays for a new life for them.
どうか許してほしい。
You've still done too much. You bear too many sins, but hey, every demon's a victim at this point in this show.
同じところへは行けないよね。
Jesus!
そんなことはない。
Those implications were kind of scary.
行くよ。地獄でも。
Jesus Christ, that line was nuts. We're going together even if it's hell. Hey! That's really cool to see. You still have a lot of sins. Why did that actually imply they all went to hell? Is that what you're meant to take that as? They're actually in fucking hell? Sup? I remember you.
人を食った鬼に情けをかけるな。子供の姿をしていても関係ない。何十年と生きている醜い化け物だ。お前は
Yep. Did you really forget who the... Wow, you really forgot them. Wow. What is this music though? This music fucking hyped up big time. You really just went to kill Nezuko. Man, he could not get a break tonight. Are we really about to see a fucking clash between the elite demons? Not the demon slayers? That's hype. That's really hype. That's his problem. Oh no, that's cruel. Come on, man. I doubt he's hurt that. Yeah. Poor guy. One person likes you. Wow. Wow. No.
動けなくても根性で動け。妹を連れて逃げろ。
対立違反なのでは?
Like he cares. Too much of a badass now to care about silly rules. And wow, you really got up quick. I can fly. Or just leap. That works too. Good, my god, I love how we're seeing the difference in skill between the elites. Because she is effortlessly zooming through those trees. I think she's outright skipping some trees as well. Yep. Oh, your poor body tonight. Jesus! Ah! Oh my god. She smashed his head of all things and knocked him out. I mean, know how hard that head is. Oh! That is too cute. That is too cute, actually. What the hell? I like how her clothes don't change, though. That makes it so much better. Ah, the almighty headlock. Most powerful weapon ever. Hello. I think that's the first time his expression changed. Wow. I like this girl. Oh. And of course that stops the quabble instantly. Maybe they didn't know about Nezuko then. Maybe, Hirokadashi kept that little bit secret. So we're finally gonna meet the big boy, the big boss. Ow. Bro fell asleep, I assume. How nice of you to keep the master. And that's really gonna hit your ego. Oh. Oh, this is your starting step, bro. This is your start from zero now. Nice. I like how their squabble just instantly ends that soon. That's how devoted they are to the job. You may have to kick him. This all of them? Nice! I recognize some of them from the intro, particularly that that other blonde boy with the red streams in his hair. Bit like fire, you know? Orange, yellow, red. Not much orange, but you know what I mean. I feel like it's this one particular shot that makes Nezuko look older than what she does now. But then again, she literally can change her age of her form, so that's fair. What if she could turn into a full-on, like, adult woman? Because this is just her default, which I do assume is still a few years younger than what she actually is. Not like she remembers. I just assume we are never getting this shot from the outro. We switch places too many times, and to be fair, quite a number of places look like that shot, because it just looks like a generic house, so I gotta assume we're just never seeing that shot, to be fair, which we don't need to, you know. We already know everything that it sums up. Bro simping for Nezuko, Inosuke wanting to fight, possibly even after they've actually seen his sleeping technique. I'll see Inosuke begging to fight after that. That'd be pretty funny. But yeah. So, big things coming forward. We are now at the Demon Slayer headquarters, which is pretty goddamn cool. I assume this isn't solely just because of Nezuko, and I assume this is because of how much progress and how many missions Tanjiro has been on at this point, because this is his first time being in a scuffle with a direct member of the 12, and while he didn't beat outright, he almost did. He came so absurdly close to beating one of the 12 Kizuki at literally the lowest rank possible that I assume this is a good thing. I assume this is a good thing. that he's been sent here for. Obviously, they know about Nezuko now, which was obviously a little unclear in the beginning, was that, you know, if only you know, Jiu and Urokodashi actually knew about that. Considering that the girl didn't know about Nezuko, I'm gonna assume that, yeah, this just hasn't been something they've known about, and now that they do know about it, they're bringing in Tanjiro for questioning, but also possibly to applaud him, you know, because, again, he's been on a lot of missions in a very rapid rate. He's beaten all of them, one involving the 12, and he's broken his blade. So obviously, they're probably gonna, like, you know, do the same thing. Pick out an ore, you know, we'll make your new blade, rest up for 2 weeks, and then we'll get back into the swing of things, right? And we'll, I think it's implied that those two little twins that ran the examination are the siblings of the main guy, so we might meet them again as well, which is cool. I like the Olsen twins. But yeah, this is really cool. We got our backstory of the boy. Apparently, he was, I guess he had a sickness or whatever the hell was the reason that Muzan actually helped him, because apparently he couldn't move his body too much, which is interesting. Of course, it's not really anything, you know, original that, you know, a reason why you would want to transform into a demon willingly would be because of an infection, a virus, you know, some kind of disability that's hindering you as a human, and the only way to kind of live as somewhat of a normal life would be to, you know, take this this cure, in a sense, that transforms you into a demon. I think it's definitely an interesting conundrum, though, when it's the case of either A, you have a life-threatening disease, B, you just have a very you know, you're born with a body with, you know, deformities that maybe your muscles aren't strong enough to support you, maybe, you know, you have bone issues, that kind of thing, and so Ryu had those kind of issues or something similar, and the question became, you know, do you want to live your life like this as a human, or do you want a perfect quote-unquote body as a demon, but with caveats of you can't go out in the day, and you will now have an eternal hunger for human flesh? It's a very interesting case that I don't feel like really has a correct answer, because it's like, yeah, you're missing your humanity, but it's like, B, you can't really fully live life to the fullest as you are right now, so what will you take? But what's very interesting about this, though, is that his family was so devoted to him that they still kept him as a demon. They allowed him to still live with them and tried to make it work as a demon. And for however long, it was kind of working, which is interesting. And that Muzan specifically backed off until Ryu quote-unquote snapped and killed the family, and then took him into his custody as part of his ranking demons. So very interesting. It's an interesting situation of seeing how Muzan operates, since he actually left the family completely alone and kind of just waited until nature took its course this time around, which was, like I said, very cool, very interesting. Like I said, I'm really curious to see how Muzan acts more going forward, because I would like to see. And from this case, I would almost assume that we are going to get the backstory of how Muzan actually came to bring the power of demons to all of his 12, right? And there's now a vacancy open in the 12 now. It's the 11 Kizuki right now, but I assume he does have candidates in mind in the case this ever happens, which is cool. It is curious, though, that the two instances of children being transformed, which are Nezuko and Ryu, seem to be among the strongest, which is very interesting, because obviously they've hyped up that there is something peculiar and unique about Nezuko that even we don't know about yet, and also vice versa for Ryu, how he grew to be one of the 12, albeit one of the lower ones, to be fair, but considering how many demons there probably are in this entire world, it's still a lot. And you know, it's very interesting going forward to see, because despite the fact that she's not really doing it, I absolutely suspect that, you know, Nezuko is going to keep growing. And the fact that they even brought up in the previous episode that the blood of certain demons can still affect demons themselves, I think does add to the theory that if Nezuko does ingest demon blood, particularly of a demon with a blood art, she very well might gain that ability of the blood art. because we saw that Ryu's blood directly gave powers to the lower class demons. So my kind of main theory right now is that that is her ability to gain the full extent of blood demon arts from demons that she ingests blood for, possibly. But yeah, like I said, that is really cool. I really like the ending there, how his family were like, we don't care what you've done. You're our son. Obviously, life was not ever fair to you as a human or a demon. And so, whether we go to heaven together or if we get dragged down to hell, we'll do it together. That was very cool. That was very, very tragic. But obviously, literally no demon in this show so far has just been a scumbag who moves unturned. And it makes sense, because it seemed that he preys on the innocent to, create his army. So maybe we won't see that. Or maybe we will. Maybe someone just straight up goes to Muzan and was like, hey, I demand to be a demon. Please make it happen. And that will be that. But no, this was really cool. Like I said, next episode, that's hype. Big hype, honestly. I'm really curious to see what the other elite Hashira, the demon slayers, think of Tanjiro. Obviously, I assume that they are aware he's made such a large amount of progress at this point. For someone who's only been a demon slayer for what I presume to be less than a year at this point. I think they did say there had been another 6-month time skip, but I might be misremembering. I'm not quite sure. And obviously, Nezuko is Nezuko, and probably among the first, maybe not the first, but among the earliest of demons they've actually let in their direct headquarters. So I'm really curious to see what happens with her as well. And if there is at any point, if there's anything they can do to help her. Because, Urukadashi put her under hypnosis to, always value humans. Are there any, beneficial techniques or anything they can bestow upon Nezuko? Or do they want to just study Nezuko to learn more about blood demon arts in general? Not sure, but I'm really curious to see what's going to go on next episode. We have a lot of new characters we're going to meet. If we are going to focus on this for 2 episodes, there's already maybe 5 or 6 more, possibly more, to go to actually meet. And I'm really curious to see what's going to happen there. As well as, I'm really hyped to see Inosuke, because it seems like he truly got humbled in this episode, which probably means he's going to not necessarily change from who he is, but possibly, again, start taking things a little bit slower, considering his options before running headfirst in the battle, and obviously not overestimating himself, as he was shattered when he fully realized he did not slay a single demon of this entire clan. Tanjiro got a win, even Zenitsu got a win, but he did not. So I'm really curious to see that going forward. On top of the fact that he also had both of his blades break. So he's another guy that possibly needs to get a new one. An actual, katana this time as well. But yeah, so guys, I'm very hyped going into the next set. We've got a lot of new potatoes to meet, and probably a lot more of the lore dump to go as well. The overall spider, clan arc, whatever it was called, was great. This was absolutely the best part of Demon Slayer so far, and it does make me hype going forward in the future. So guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.